It's your boy YG Odamo. Came in first place, undefeated at locals last Thursday. Won 2 of these. Gonna give you guys the deck profile, but first and foremost, I want to say it really feels good to come in first place. I've been topping since the deck came out, but finally get that first place spot. And you guys are gonna get that deck profile right about now. What's up, guys? It's YG Odamo here, and as promised, here I am with the first place deck profile. I went undefeated in 5 rounds, 4 wins and a draw. My matchups real quickly. First round was PK Horus. Second round was Unchained. Third round was Purrely. Fourth round was Branded Chimera. And fifth round was like a Spright Horus deck. So I drew in the last round, but yeah, we're gonna go into this deck profile. I changed it up since last time. It feels good to get first place, as I said in the intro. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I have more deck profiles coming in the future, more box openings, and yeah. So let's get into this. For Vanquish Soul monsters, we got 2 Jiao Long, 2 Caesar, 3 Borger, 3 Rosin, 2 Mad Love, and a Pantera. So the lineup of Vanquish Souls really didn't change much. The only thing I did was cut down Jiao Long. And the reason I cut down Jiao Long is I'll explain it later. But 3 is good. But I think 2 is optimal. 2 is perfectly fine. You really don't want to brick on it. It's really good though. So you definitely want to open it. You don't mind opening it. Of course, Rosin could search it. I like my ratios just the way they are. I think 2 Caesar, I'll explain these right here. Like 2 Caesar and 3 Borger is fine, because with SP Little Knight now in the format, you got to keep that in mind that they could banish your 1 Caesar if you're only playing 1. And 3 Borger is my favorite one. You burn in time, you draw, you get resources. So it's I love 3 and 2. That's just how I'm gonna play it. I don't feel comfortable with just playing 1. I have done it before in a different type of build, which was pretty spicy. And I hope I could get into that into the channel. I won't reveal it just right now, but I have played 1 Caesar with 2 Borgers, like just to get used to managing my resources. And it's not bad, but I like 2 and 3. 3 Stake Your Soul, Standard, 1 Dust Devil still, 1 Continue, and 1 Snow Devil. This card puts in so much work, you guys. The first deck profile I did, I was not running this, and I was absolutely incorrect. This card is busted, broken. Like, if you get all the attributes, you're dark holding your opponent's board, you're protecting your Vanquish Soul monsters, and to boot, you're burning them. So it could go into time. It could help you in time. It could help you with Borger burning, because Borger burns for 15. This will burn if you do all the attributes. If you do all the attributes, this burns you for 18. You burn them for 15, and then you burn them for, on your turn you burn them for 15. On their turn you burn them for 15. So right there you're doing like 15, that's 3K, and then the 18, that's 48. You're doing 48 just in 2 turns if you're able to get this popped off. And man, I'm gonna tell you, I did this ridiculous play on the Unchained player, and I basically like it was insane. I'm gonna do another video, and I'm gonna do an in-depth deck analysis, and I'm gonna explain all my choices. Right now, this is just a deck profile for you guys, so stay tuned for that video coming. But yeah, Just Snow Devil, that's the only new card, and it is insane. And I'm not cutting that card anytime soon. So, consistency cards. 1 Rhoda, 3 Prosperities. There we go. So, back in the last profile, I played 1 Rhoda, 1 Desires, and 1 Talents. Now I'm on 1 Rhoda, 3 Prosperity. Like I said, I sold my Prosperities because of rarity collection. So now that I was able to get my hands back on them, I wanted to try it. And this card is just so good. It's too good not to play. If it's at 3, I'm going to play it at 3. It's just broken. Yeah, it conflicts with the Borger draw, but you're trying to see Rosin. You want to make sure you see your starter. You know what I mean? Or you want to, maybe you got Rosin, maybe you got Stake Your Soul with Ashley, you got everything popping, and you want to be able to get that floodgate or that extra attribute that you're missing. You know what I mean? So this card at 3, as long as it's at 3, I'm going to play it. I don't care that I can't draw with Borger. It's perfectly fine, the half damage and all that. Even in going into time, if you go Prosperity, you burn them for 750, you're still winning that game. So the 1 Rhoda, the 3 pots came in real clutch. I love it. I miss playing pot. Desires is fine, but I wouldn't consider playing Desires unless they hit Prosperity. Floodgate of choice right here. Summon limit. I cut the TC booth for summon limit. So I saw this regional deck profile that came in first place, and he was playing 3 summon limit. Shout out to him. But even prior to me seeing that regional deck profile, I was considering summon limit just because of the simple fact that the format is wide open. Like, there's so many decks that could play through the TC booth. Like Vanquish Soul, Branded Chimera, Tearlaments, Rescue Ace. They necessarily could play around it. Like I noticed that. Like I've TC booed a good Rescue Ace player, and they just play around it, or they Phoenix it, and it's like you just wasted that. But Summon Limit is cracked. Let me tell you, against the Unchained player with where's this card at? Dust Devil. This is what I did. So I had the Dust Devil set. I had the Summon Limit set. I pass it over to them. I have all 3 attributes. They go, they set the trap, they pop, they special, okay. They use the trap, they special, okay. I go summon limit. They go, okay. I go affect the rock, special rosin. I get an attribute, extra attribute. I get like Borger or something. Then on resolution, I flip summon limit. They don't got a response. Flip Snow Devil. I special Borger. I burned them for 18. Burned them for 15 with Borger. And then Dark Hold the whole board. And I have 3 Vanquish Souls on board. I got Rosin, Jalong, and Borger. And he just scooped right there. That was game. That was 100% game right there. So, like, Summon Limit paired with the Snow Devil is just busted. Because it's like you lock them to 2 summons. And then you Dark Hold a board, and you're the only one with board presence at that point. Yeah, you might lose a rock. Yeah, you might lose a Fenrir. But this card with the Snow Devil in tandem is just, it's unfair. It's unfair. And I realized that. And I was like, Snow Devil's too broken. Now, here some hand traps for you guys. We got 3 Crow, 3 Nib, and 3 Ash. So I decided to play Nib because after I topped twice that week in the last deck profile, I went to a case tournament and I scrubbed out, and my first loss was to Scareclaw. And I'm not going to talk much about it, but it was like a 7-round tournament, and I already, when they said 7 rounds, I wasn't really even feeling that. So anyway, I needed a Nib in that situation. And then the next round, I just played it for the funsies. And I played against Salad. And I was like, yo, I need a Nib again. And I was just like, you know what? Nib is really good right now. Unchained, it hits Unchained. It hits a lot of decks that are just trying to pop off. Rescue Ace. Yeah, the good players are going to play around Nib. But Nib is just too good not to play right now, I think. And I don't care that it's not a dark or earth or fire. It's just straight up impactful. So nib was really good, and it actually came up during the tournament. I nibbed my boy Joe. He was playing Purrely, and I nibbed him when he tried to do a Zeus line, and it basically sealed me the game. So this definitely came up. It didn't come up a lot because people played around it, but when it did came up, it came up and it helped me out. DD Crow. DD Crow is really good this format. I like this over Shifter. I realized like Shifter is not hitting everything. There's Rescue Ace could play Shifter, Purrely could play Shifter, Vanquish Soul could play Shifter, Flunder play Shifter. So Shifter isn't as good as what it once was. And I was anticipating a lot of Rescue Ace and Tier Limit at the beginning of the format. So that's why I mained the Shifter, but I think DD Crow is correct. It hits almost everything. It hits everything. Labyrinth, everything. Like, and that's what I want. Branded Chimera hits everything. So, DD Crow is perfectly fine this format. I wouldn't change it for anything. And then Ash is Ash. You already know the vibes. Vanquish Soul, Stake Your Soul, GG's. You already know. So, that's it for hand traps. Now, board breakers. Nothing really much changed here. I just cut the Dogoron. I just figured I'd just play Kurakara, and I added the trap and I added the prosperity, so I had to cut something. Right now the deck list is at 41, and I like to keep it at 40, but it's hard for me to just say all right automatically what I cut. And I came in first place, so, and this is the first time I actually come in first place with Vanquish. I've done a lot of top 8s, came in 5th, came in, 6th, 8th. I've topped a lot with the deck, but I just haven't got that first place, so I got it. So 41 is fine with me now. Now this is a big change for me. 2 rock, 1 SP, 1 IP, 1 goddess, 1 security, and 1 Lingaribo. So I cut down rock to 2 and I didn't miss it, but I'm gonna be honest, I cringe every time I go into a second rock and I know I don't have a third. Like it just irks me. Like it feels weird. Like I don't know if it's because it feels weird or because I'm afraid that I might need a third one. I don't know what it is, but every time I go through my first rock and it gets popped or it just gets off board and then I go to the second one, I just feel so like I don't feel as protected as with the third rock. But maybe I got to get used to it. I came in first. I mean, how can I complain? SP Little Knight is a broken card. I feel like I don't summon it enough. Let me tell you, through all 5 rounds, I didn't summon this once. IP, I didn't summon this once. Goddess, I had it in for Purrely, but it didn't come up. Because when I played Purrely, he didn't get to end on the Noir. I just hand trapped him to death. Security Dragon is cool. And Lingaribo is for the Ibli. Last time, I had to deal with Ibli a lot, like in the last week, so I just was like, let me put Lingaribo in. And Security Dragon is pretty cool because if you have 2 monsters on board, it's a board breaker. Like you could target something as long as it's co-linked, return it to hand, and then you go into SP. So you use it to go into SP. You get like two bounces. Like, well, you get a banish and a bounce, so you get like 2 removals. That's what I meant. Xyz, 1 Zeus, 1 Dweller, 1 Baguska, 1 King Dempsey, and 1 Superstar. MVP. MVP of the tournament. If you do not have this card, get this card. This card sealed me the deal. On 3 different matches, like this card came up and it literally won me the game. Like I did this against my first round. I broke his board. I made this. He was playing PK Horus, so he couldn't go M-Seti. I broke his board, ended on the Dweller, and this is sealed me the game. Then, against Purrely, he sat on the Zeus, and I went draw phase, nothing, standby, nothing, main phase, and he was like, okay, and I just made this, and it was over. I just bounced the Zeus, and I just took control of that game. And then it came up again. I can't recall the other time it came up. Oh, no, I remember. It came up against Unchained. Oh my gosh, it was insane. Because I had a horrible hand. They ended on the DD. They ended on the DD monster, right? I had Borger Caesar, Stake Your Soul, and Fenrir. So it wasn't a bad hand per se, but he had the trap set. He had the DD monster that doesn't let you special, and then he had the link that uses your monster to link. I'm not really afraid of the link that uses your monster to link because it has to target. You could dodge the target effect. But I went Fenrir, effect to search, Rise Heart. He went pop the Fenrir. I ended up opening up 2 DD Crows as well. So I DD Crowed his Yama. And anyway, I just went Rise Heart, effective Rise Heart, banished the top 3, and I made this. He had one more back rolls Imperm. I tried to bounce back the DD monster. He went Imperm. I just swung over the DD monster, and then he had the water Unchained. I used the second DD crawl on that. He had no follow up, and this literally won me 3 games. Like this card is insane. Like I love this card. Dempsey for consistency purposes, Baguska, Flunder, Branded. You already know. Tier. I wonder if this is good into Chimera branded. I mean, they do a lot of graveyard effects, but it didn't come up. But I gotta see. I gotta test that. And then Zeus is Zeus. I already know. And now, the last 3 spots. 1 Entis, 1 Garura, and one Malong. So, Malong. So anyway, Entis, this is all for Ultimate Slayer. This is a pop, this is a draw, and then this is, you get rid of 2 synchros. Because you send this, you target, you shuffle that back, and then this will bounce back something else. It says, target 1 face-up card. It targets a face-up card, so it can even get rid of a Floodgate, which is pretty good. But yeah, that's for Ultimate Slayer. And Entis definitely came up, and it actually helped me seal the deal against Branded Chimera. Because I went Ultimate Slayer. He had Rembrum, whatever fusion that was that they brought out, and he had Super Poly set. I got rid of the fusion, and I popped the Super Poly, and that was GG's. So anyway, now we go into the side deck. 1 Thrust, 3 Slayers, 3 Evenlies, 3 Eradicators, 2 Barriers, 2 D-Barriers, and 3 Drows. 3 Drows. So let me explain this. Drow right here, you have to play this format. Whether you main it or you side it is up to you, but you have to play this card. Vanadium adds a lot. Chimera adds. Vanquish adds. A lot of decks are adding it. You want to be able to stop that. So this is mandatory. You gotta find somewhere to play this in your deck. Eradicator was hit and miss, but it actually got me out of my first round. Like Eradicator in my locals, they play a lot of like Labyrinth and like Chimera and spell stuff, Runic, Purrely. So I was like, let me try this, and it came up against the PK matchup in the first round. I lost game 1. I lost Dyro. He set up a board. I couldn't break it. Game 2, I went under Nib. I summoned 4 times. I ended on a Borger with Rock, and I eradicated him for 5 spells. He had a Nib in hand. And he drew for turn another spell. And I eradicated. He scooped immediately. He didn't even show me. After the game, he told me. So Eradicator was hit and miss because when I eradicated later on, it didn't do anything. So you got to be careful with Eradicator. But it is good because you could call spell or traps and it's still broken. It's at 3. Barrier was good against Branded Chimera. Shut him down. I won the game because of this card. It sealed me my 4th round. Evenly didn't come up. Evenly really did not come up at all. But Evenly is Evenly. Rescue Ace. Back row deck. So I like Evenly. I'm not going to cut it. I think it's fine for now. This card, Ultimate Slayer, I love this card. Simply for the fact that every time I sight it in, I open it. It's crazy. But that along with this, that's your Ultimate Slayer like targets and stuff. You have a bunch of XZs. You have all types of links. So you don't really got to worry about the XZs and the links. But anyway, and also with these, game 1, you just Prosperity. This is easy 3 to Prosperity out. So that's cool. But Ultimate Slayer came up once against the Chimera, like I said, and it helped me seal the game. And I wasn't playing. I was testing this before Age of Overlord, and I loved it. Like, it's really good into the branded matchup, which I struggle with. That's like one of the hardest matchups you could get. Even against Unchained is good, and against Vanadium it isn't bad either. As long as they don't got the trap, the Omni Negate, but it's pretty good. It puts in work. You got the extra deck space to play it, so why not play it? You know what I mean? And then the thrust is thrust. Thrust is broken. We don't even got to talk about how broken this card is. We need this card to get reprinted. But yeah. So with that, that is the deck profile, guys. Came in first place at locals. It felt good. I'm gonna do another video, like I said, a deck analysis, talking more about my choices and what I changed and how I feel about it. But this is first place undefeated, baby. Don't forget to like it up, subscribe. I appreciate all the love I've getting. You guys are watching the videos, and I hope this deck profile, y'all like it. Give me some comments down below on what you like about it, and tell me any tech choices and anything you know what you prefer. You know what I mean? And with that, happy dueling. And I'm out like poof.